I'm Danny Flexen,
This is Joe Leigh.
and we're here for the latest edition of Who You Backing on Seconds Out.
Yeah.
And been doing this for a little while now. We've been grateful for all the feedback you've provided. Last week we had the fights. We were three fights, three picks each, draft style. Which fights we were most looking forward to
Yeah.
after the end of the shutdown. The rules being that it had to be a fight that was either highly mooted or had already been confirmed.
hmm
And so we picked our three each, and Joe is hopefully going to tell us who came out on top in the public
It
vote.
was it was a draw.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was a draw this week. Though I think there was a few more votes, which is good, but it's not good because we don't have a winner. But I guess this makes this week's more important.
Yeah, Adelaide Bird was probably involved somewhere, but talking of birds, no, that's not the way I want to begin this.
Mm,
We're doing a pound for pound female
mhm.
boxing draft
Talking about
this
it.
week. Yeah, well, exactly. One wrong move and you're Jim Davison.
Mm,
Probably a joke you wouldn't get showing
nah.
my age, but yeah. So we're gonna do pound for pound women in
Mhm.
boxing. And trivia question,
Your question,
is
yes.
mine for Joe. So, one of the ladies that I expect to feature somewhere among our six picks is Katie Taylor. She, not too long ago, moved up from lightweight to super lightweight,
Yeah,
win a world title in a second division.
yeah.
Who did she defeat for that £140 belt?
Um,
I'll settle for just the surname.
no, I know it. It's Lyndon Aras. Lyndon.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if we can
Yeah,
accept.
yeah. Linda is Linda. Come on, you've
You
got
got
to
the
give it.
first syllable right. I mean,
Linda. I can't pronounce it. I know I could literally. Well, I couldn't spell it, but I know who it is.
all right. I'll give it. It's Leonardo too.
Yeah, that is. Come on.
Christina, I believe her first
Yeah,
name.
yeah, 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 yeah. Nah, I've got to get that one.
All right, you can
Got
have
that.
it. You can have it, and with that, you can have the first pick.
Brilliant. So I'm gonna pick Katie Taylor straight off the bat. I think it's hard. It's hard not to. I mean, there's a lot. There's three
I didn't
fighters.
find it that hard.
There's there's three fighters that you could pick, but for me, I just think what she's done for the sport as well. She's done so many fantastic things. She's two division world champion. She's got fantastic hand speed. She can control the distance really well. Of course, she's got that. She lost to Delphine Soon, and there's no doubt about that for me. I think it was either a 7-3 to Delphine or 6-4. It wasn't as close as
Why
Pete
isn't Persoon your number one then?
because I think overall Katie Taylor's a better fighter. And
So
don't get me
just a
wrong,
bad night at the office.
exactly no, and I've got other reasons, of course. Bassoon's on my list. I won't give that away. Well, I've just given it away, but no, I think Katie Taylor.
Why not get to
What
pick
she's
her anyway? We'll see.
yeah, well, what she's done for the sport anyway, as I was saying, and I just think her first world title fight she had. This is from experience through watching the film. She was like hadn't trained in like over a week or something. I don't know if that was just for the dramatization of the film, but she fought on almost no health then, and she still had a really good fight. And I just think her performance in her last fight as well, she was completely dominant, and it's exciting to see her against Amanda Serrano very soon, which I regret not picking last week actually. I wish I did
I
put
thought that
that.
today when I was looking through the female
Yeah, I think that's
research.
going
I
to be an
thought I should pick
amazing
that
fight.
fight.
I'll leave the talk for Amanda Serrano because I assume one of us is probably going to pick her.
But it's like two of the top six pound for pound women, isn't it? Whereas if it was two of the top six pound for pound men, that would have been number one
Exactly,
last week.
but no, I just can't wait to see her career blossom even more, and hopefully she beats Delphine Pursuit now because she's found out her style, and that around the round 6 and 7 she sort of had the best couple of rounds, and I just think if that happens again she could out trump her, and if she manages to find the range and control the distance a bit better. I think that was the best parts of the fight, and stay out of range of course, but then she might have a chance.
I'm always glad when you get the first pick and don't pick the person I wanted at number one.
I know who you're gonna pick.
Always feels like I haven't wasted my pick.
I really, yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, it's going to be no surprise. The
Yeah.
most intimidating person I've ever interviewed. Someone who's got me blocked on Twitter, which doesn't really narrow it down, to be fair. The self-proclaimed Woat, which I
Yeah.
think is a bit clunky as a nickname, to be fair, but
Yeah.
abbreviations can
Why?
be. But it is Clarissa Shields. She is a double Olympic gold medalist, which is something even Katie Taylor can't claim. She's a 3-weight world champion, which
That's a
is,
low
again,
blow.
is
That's
something
a low
Katie
blow.
Taylor can't claim.
Oh,
And in her biggest test,
she's
and
on.
this was kind of the tiebreaker for me. In Katie Taylor's biggest test, she struggled against Delphine Soon. You think she lost? I think I had her winning by a point, but I think
Did
I was in
you?
the minority.
Yeah.
Clarissa Shields in her biggest test completely routed Christina Hammer.
Yeah, no, she did. She
I
did.
just think that's an excellent performance. She's gone up to super middle. Oh, sorry, started the first world titles at super middle, then middle, where she won all the belts, became undisputed, as obviously Taylor did at lightweight.
Yeah.
And then, as more recently, moved down to super welter and beat Ivana Habazin.
Yeah.
Despite all the controversy around the postponement of their fight, she kind of let it all brush off.
Yeah.
Went to the rearranged date and got business done. And she might not be a massive puncher,
Yeah.
but she's very good technically. Her work rate's great. She trains very hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like her personality. They think she's maybe brash.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's
think she's very
interesting, isn't it?
confident, and I think she gets more criticism for it as a woman than a man would with the same kind of braggadocio.
Yeah, I think as well, a lot of people think she gets too emotional, like in the fights as well. Like I think it was I think it was against Hammer, and she was sort of pushed, it's like maybe hit her after the round, and she sort of like walked up to her a little bit, and people think she gets too emotional, but I think that's in her character, and it hasn't proved to damage her at all yet. And if you can trust in yourself and believe in yourself, then being emotional, well, she doesn't get emotional. She works out before the fight. She can be emotional, but she doesn't let it affect her, and that's what I mean. She has a good mental game, and she can switch it on whenever.
I think you're just arguing my point for me, so I'll just let you
Well, we're
carry on.
talking pound for pound best here. It's hard to not, but I'm gonna go with
Them, you're right.
it's number 3 in this draft, Cecilia
Number 2
Baszler.
for you, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's the top 3 were pretty obvious, I feel.
Yeah.
Also self-proclaimed quote. The first lady of boxing, and there's so many good things you can say about her. It's interesting because obviously Clarissa Shields is such a bigger name, but Cecilia Brækhus has done almost as much, and it's strange at how women's boxing is at the moment, but it's definitely growing. And I think that's testament to her as well. Her ability to just simply just box and outbox people, pick her opponents apart is fantastic. She's not always in the most exciting fights because she's not a knockout artist, as we all know. She's more of a defensive sort of break down your opponent type of fighter. But that's also interesting to watch for the sweet. Just sometimes you like watching it for the sweet signs that it is just absolutely outworking her opponents, finding their weaknesses and pursuing their. Do you know what I mean? So she's definitely number 3, and she can be argued for the GOAT. I don't believe she is. I believe she was the first undisputed female with 4 different belts at once in 2014 as well. She's got a serious name for herself, and there's no doubt she's in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, she's been a pro 13 years. She's been a champion for 11 of those. I mean, yeah, she's an institution. And it's hard for me because I think there are 3 standout names for this draft. You got the first pick, and even though I've got my first pick, you've got 2 of the outstanding 3.
Yeah.
I think that puts you at a great advantage now in the draft.
Well, there you go. No, you don't need to get
I'm not
salty
conceding
about it.
defeat, but
You're
it's going to
pouring salt in my ear. I can't.
yeah. But fair play. My second one is someone that doesn't get a lot of press, but it's Daniela Bermudez, Argentinian, long reigning bantamweight champion. She moved up to super bantam, beat another girl up there who was a reigning world champion.
Yeah.
Realised it wasn't her natural weight and dropped back down, but obviously 2-weight world champion at least. I think I'd have to again double check that. But I think it's 2-weight. She's won on the road as well. I think she beat Mariana Juarez, Mexican Barbie. That's her nickname. I'm not being offensive. Beat her in Mexico, and a number of other like really good wins. And she seems virtually unbeatable at bantamweight. Doesn't get the credit she deserves, but still only 30 years old as well. So plenty of kind of stuff she can add to her resume. But she may have to go into different weight classes to do it because bantamweight for females especially is not the most kind of high profile division.
I was literally going to say it's almost not just as difficult, of course, but it's very difficult for even men. You look at not bantamweight, but Cal Yafai from Birmingham. I highly respect him as a fighter. He's fantastic. He's just come off a loss, but he's been a champion for so long, a world champion, and he didn't get the recognition because of that weight class. So being a woman and being at a low weight class is certainly going to be detrimental to her career. I don't know why I stuttered then, but I just think it's unfortunate for her. But yeah, moving up in weight classes will certainly be something beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, I could have picked someone else, and I think I would have got more votes. But
Yeah,
I
probably.
thought I've got to stay true to
You've already
myself. I think,
taken the loss.
yeah, I mean, I think she, yeah,
No,
all right.
no.
I think she is like one of the best pound for pound female fighters on the planet. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, I respect that opinion. Of course, she's not known as well, so it's going to be difficult for some people might not vote for her because of that, but it's not a bad pick at all,
You
even
just
though
need
we're
all the
against each.
Argentinian seconds out subscribers to get on board.
All of them there,
We're big in Buenos Aires.
yeah. Now, last but not least for me, Amanda Serrano. I think she's doing really well at the moment. And I think the thing that stands out for me is she makes it interesting. And of course, as we've been saying, women's boxing, it's hard to get a lot of fans on your side. But the fact that she's got, I believe, 24 knockouts out of 34 fights, that is like for 2 minute rounds, that is phenomenal. Like, there's no way about that. Her pressure on opponents is fantastic. And I just believe she could, her and Katie Taylor, that fight is just going to be phenomenal because I think Katie's going to want to, she gets involved in scraps sometimes, which doesn't always help her. And I just think if Katie stays out of range and doesn't let her box her head off, then she could be okay. But, Amanda Serrano goes for the kill a lot and she's always the aggressor in her fight. So that's going to be an interesting fight. But yeah, Amanda Serrano, she's a phenomenal boxer. She takes fights on short notice. She's a killer.
6-weight world champion,
Yeah.
big puncher. Yeah, it's a good pick. I mean, I wasn't sure. I looked through her record and I thought, since she had her only defeat, which was many, many years ago,
Yeah.
who's the best person she's beaten? And it's probably Heather Hardy,
But
who's
for
good,
me,
not
carry
great.
on, carry on. Yeah, no, she's good. She's a good fighter, Heather Hardy. But I just think for me, it's more than knockouts. Like the fact that she's doing that in the women's game in 2 minute rounds. There's no way she cannot be in the top six. I can't see how you disagree with that.
No, she's a really good fighter, and I think her and Katie
Yeah.
Taylor's going to be an outstanding
Oh,
fight.
cannot wait. I
Um,
cannot wait.
it's hard to know what her best weight is as well. That's the thing, because she's won world
Yeah.
titles up to super lightweight and down at what, flyweight or something.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
it
it
could
was
be.
as low as certainly bantamweight. I'm not sure about flyweight, but it could be as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good pick. All right, so for me, last pick is Delphine Soon.
Yeah.
You've kind of helped me a little bit with that by saying you felt she beat Katie Taylor. Um, but yeah, just really good fighter. She was a long reigning champion, WBC lightweight champion before Taylor defeated her controversially. And was she a policewoman? Is that right? Outside the ring?
Yeah,
I just made that up, have I? Just really dedicated, fit, underrated intelligence as well. She showed against Taylor. Work rate was excellent. Got inside really well. Forced Taylor to fight her type of fight, which is
Yeah.
sometimes the difference between winning and losing. And perhaps should have been in that fight. Obviously, I had Taylor winning by a point, but I have no issue with people who had Persoon winning.
Yeah.
And Taylor said recently, a rematch with Persoon is something that she really wants to happen as soon as possible.
Yeah, of
Perhaps
course.
after Serrano, so we can look forward to that. I think Persoon was talking about going into the Olympics at one point, but I'm not sure if
Oh,
that's
did she?
happening now.
Yeah,
If
I mean, she's
she,
so experienced. She's done pro boxing for so long now. I mean, I don't see why, that could be an interesting sort of revenue to take for her.
I think
Revenue
she might have
after.
lost. I think she might have gone in the qualifiers and lost. It's
Oh.
either that or the qualifiers ended before she had her fight.
Mhm.
But I'd have to double check. But I've just got a funny feeling she lost in the qualifiers. So
Oh,
again,
okay.
you can cut that out again if that's
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure she's a policewoman who lost in the Olympic qualifiers.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's good.
she's an excellent fighter, really suited for the pro game because she gets stronger as the fight goes on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think she fully deserves her position in this top six.
Yeah, no, we should call this who you agreeing with at this rate. We
Yeah.
keep backing each other. We're meant to be against each other, so no, I don't agree with you. And next
We need a
week,
better topic next week to like really.
no, I like this topic,
Uh,
but next week I think we'll be more against each other. And even if I agree with you, for the video's sake, I'm just gonna back my point all the way.
maybe we should do something like best boxers of all time from our home cities. That'd be
That'd
quite
be
partisan.
good, yeah. From where?
From our home cities,
Oh yeah,
that'll
okay.
be quite partisan. And then
Yeah,
we won't be competing for the same boxers either.
yeah, exactly. Born and bred. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect to win the vote, to be honest. There's 3 standout performers, and I got 1 out of the 3. Even if she's the best of the 3, I only got 1 of them. So I'm going to have to suck that one up and hope people feel sympathy for me.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, you've won, I think, out of 8 episodes, you've won like 6. So, you know,
We've done 8. We've done 8.
Yeah.
It's flown by, hasn't it, this lockdown?
I know, literally. We've been in lockdown for all 8 as well. Hopefully, we can do it in person or something better quality after lockdown. But no, I've enjoyed them so far, and yeah, get voting now. The poll will come up. So
brilliant, good stuff. Vote for me.
see you next time.